smart planned cities, that everybody can actually live in. And then I've always listened to the governor talk so passionately about his agenda for urban regeneration in such a way that anybody who is an indigenous of Anambra State and he decides to live anywhere in the world, it will just be a matter of choice and not a matter of compulsion. Because before now, it was as if it was not just, habitable for people to live in most of the cities in Anambra. And then, we'll have four cities that actually be designated urban cities in terms of planning and everything in Anambra State. We have the capital, the capital of the state, Awka. Then you have Onitsha, which incidentally is a commercial map center of Southeast, and I may say the entire Nigeria, in terms of having or being the city that houses the biggest market in West Africa.
Oh dear, we appear to have lost sound.
And then
okay, it's back. Please continue.
Yes. And then you talk about Nnewi, and then you talk about Ekulobia. Now, when the governor came in, the first thing he did was to set up an urban regeneration council, headed by a very distinguished architect, one architect, Michael Gongwo, as the head of the urban regeneration council, with the sole agenda of trying as much as possible to look at the entire master plan of these four cities towards regenerating, towards having very clean drainages, trying as much as possible to do much of the roads, having planned layouts, having the trees lined up on the street and everything, and then having iconic designs at various places. I'll give you an example with a very popular roundabout in Onitsha called the Ochanja roundabout. That's where you have the Ochanja market. And before the present administration came in, Ochanja decayed in such a way that it became a mountain of refuse dump. In such a way that the first time I recall, because if you recall, before I was elected the national chairman of APCA, I actually served in the state executive council of the state. And then I followed the governor the first time he came to visit or inspect Ochanja roundabout. You could imagine the mountain of refuse. In fact, for the governor to be able to address the traders, they had to climb, because much of these refuse had then solidified and then turned into a very big slab. And then the governor had to climb on top of it to be able to address people. If you go to Ochanja roundabout today, much of that refuse has been cleared, and in its place we now have a water fountain running there, up and running. In Awka, the governor has done, I think at the last count, about maybe 10 roads, crisscrossing the entire length and breadth of Awka in such a way that much of Awka indigenes can now come out and say, yes, our town now actually looks like the capital of a state. In Onitsha, Fege, for example, Onitsha South, which is actually one of the most planned areas in Anambra State before successive administration left Fege to rot and decay. Now, you have the governor. The governor has done about 12 roads, totally not together about 30-something kilometers all around Fege. And so much of what the state is doing in urban regeneration is quite on course. In Ekulobia today, as I speak to you, there is actually a flyover. And now the state, what the governor is now trying to do is to connect these four cities, the interconnectivity of these four cities with dual lanes. So if you're coming from Awka to Ekulobia, from Amobia, at the place where you have the governor's lodge, at the back of the governor's lodge, there is actually an ongoing contract for the construction of a dual carriageway, even though it's actually a federal road, because that emphasis has to be made. It's actually a federal road, but the government of Anambra State under Professor Soludo has not left it and say, no, it's a federal road. Because the governor knows that these roads are being used by Anambra, the governor has actually embarked on the construction of a dual carriageway from Amobia up until the border with Imo State. And then if you come to Ekulobia, there is actually the interchange or a very mighty bridge or flyover that is actually ongoing. The construction is ongoing, and I believe by the end of this year, that particular flyover should have been completed. Then you come to Onitsha, like I say.
I beg your pardon, Barrister Sly. I beg your pardon, Barrister Sly. Can you hear me? Yes. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I can hear you.
But I did want to bring in our viewers. You know the kind of program we run. Our viewer would like to, contribute to the program. Good morning to you, Mr. George, calling in from Lagos.
Good morning, Mr. Uncle Yori, and greetings to the APGA chairman.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, I'm particularly impressed by the performance of many of the Southeast governors. For example, the Enugu governor came. He, from day one, said this Monday sit-at-home must stop. He came to the street himself and encouraged people to come out, and today the story is different. All over Enugu, I understand people now have water to drink. Within the 9 months he has been there. Same thing in Abia. The project of light that has been there for 20 years, within these 9 months this guy came. He facilitated everything, and today they are now talking about 24-hour supply. But he's also there. But coming to Anambra, you know that I checked figures about 2 weeks ago on the IGRO of the state. Obiano left IGRO of 1.3 billion. But within these 2 years that Soludo came, the IGRO of Anambra is now 3.4 billion. That speaks volumes. That shows that the knowledge of economy he has, he's putting it to work. What I want to advise Soludo is on security. Anambra has the largest number of billionaires in the southeast. Let him emulate Lagos. Rally, call all of them together to establish a security trust fund to face those bad boys in the bush. I'm sure they will buy the idea from him instead of taxing them, because the businesses they run are not necessarily in Anambra, so he won't have the opportunity to get the money from them by tax. But he can get it as donations, and he will use it to ensure that there is better security in the state. It's just a suggestion, but I'm impressed by his performance.
All right, then. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George.
I don't know if I can come in.
Please comment.
Yes, I thank the person who called in.
George calling in from Lagos.
Yes, that's actually what we pray for the entire country, so that we'll have states that are actually very competitive. And in terms of Anambra State, and I will tell you, Anambra State has a security trust fund. You know, it's been in place, and then when Professor Soludo came in, he revitalized and rejigged the Anambra Security Trust Fund. The governor held a town hall meeting. In terms of the request he is making, the governor has actually held a town hall meeting twice in Lagos and twice in Abuja, trying as much as possible to, drum support from the Anambra who are actually living outside the state, to first of all talk about security and then talk about investment, because these two things go hand in hand. You can't have any profitable investment in an atmosphere of insecurity. And that was what the governor did. Within the first 4 or 5 months that the governor came in, he actually held a security summit in Lagos and equally followed up with another security summit in Abuja, where he told Anambradians his plans, for trying as much as possible to, enhance security in the state and to stop the level of criminality that was in place before he came into office as the governor of Anambra State.
Okay.
And then I can tell you that the support was quite massive, even though it was nowhere near the projection that the governor had. But it's something, because you're trying as much as possible to talk to people into probably, maybe donating one thing or the other towards enhancing security.
All right.
And I can tell you that the level of patriotism by Indian Anambra is quite commendable. And much like people always do, if you have good leadership in place, leadership that people can actually trust in, leadership that people can actually believe in, it will be a smart thing for people to key in their resources or contribute their meager resources into entrenching security.
All right.
And I think Governor Soludo has been able to rally around much of the stakeholders, much of the entrepreneurs and Anambradians who are actually entrepreneurs outside the state, to come together to rally around and then support the state towards entrenching security. And you can't talk about the success story of the governor in the area of security without, making allusion to the contributions of well-meaning Anambradians outside the state. So I must commend the contribution of Anambra in queuing into the security agenda of the governor.
All right,
And
let me bring in another viewer who has called in, Barrister Sly. Another viewer has called in.
Yes.
This time it's Sam calling in from Anambra. Good morning to you, Sam.
Good morning.
Okay, please go ahead with your comment or question.
Yeah, I must commend Mr. Governor, the governor of Anambra State, Professor Soludo, for what he's doing. For me, I live in Anambra, and I'm a witness to the transformation he's doing in Anambra State, especially in the area of road network. At least in my area, the road at no two axis was terrible. But I must tell you that axis has been fixed within a short space of time. I also noted, because I was in Oka on Friday, so driving through some areas, I saw where they were working on piped water. So it was a real sight, because we haven't had this for a very long time. And some residents actually confirmed that water supply has been activated in some areas. So we are calling on the governor to do more, because he's actually doing well.
All right,
the only concern is security. People are scared. Like the place I work, there are some areas of, the security issues keep on coming up once in a while. So if we could address security, at least even if we have the best infrastructure, and security of lives and property is not guaranteed, it makes a mess of the whole thing.
Okay.
He's doing well infrastructure-wise, but
Thank you.
Pay more attention to.
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling in. Barrister Sly Ezenko has spoken about security, and as he said, these things are interlinked. But did you want to make a brief comment on that? Because I want to take you to the area. I wanted to take you to another very, very important area. This is one where Professor Soludo is going to be tremendously involved. I'm talking here about social and human capital development. I did want to touch on this.
Yes.
Social and human capital development. I'll throw education in there as well.
Yes. If you come to the area of social and human capital agenda, like the governor will always say, that part of his quest is to build, a very strong human capital agenda and then social agenda in such a way that is quite profitable at home and then exportable abroad. In terms of the fact that any Anambra child who is born in Anambra, or even not, you don't even need to be an indigenous of Anambra. So once you are in Anambra, you can actually receive quality education that you can actually compete anywhere in the world. And because the governor understands the importance of education in playing a pivotal role in the lives of people, like the governor will always say, and then quite passionately, he even made the comment again yesterday, that it is education that bridges the gap between the poor and the rich, so that you won't have any difference. It is the leveler. So you can no longer say that you cannot distinguish the children of the rich and the children of the poor, because what actually levels everybody is the quality of our education and the accessibility of the education. So when Governor Soludo came into office, one of the things he did was, first of all, to continue the support to much of the mission schools, because if we recall, the previous administration had handed over some of the mission schools back to the various missions, the Catholic Church, the Anglicans, and the Pentecostal, including the members of the Salvation Army. And then the government had then continued to support them every now and then with infrastructural or critical infrastructural development. But then when Governor Soludo came in, he took it a step further. First of all, apart from continuing the support, the humongous support, I think at the last count, he did build out about 2-point-something billion or 3-point-something billion to continue that critical support and intervention to mission schools in the state. But much more than that, what the governor has now done has now been to equally revitalize much of the public school that has been in the state of disrepair, because that is the place where most of the children of the poor attend, because they can't even afford much of the mission schools. So the first thing the governor did was, immediately he took over the reins of leadership of Anambra State, the first thing he did was to employ 5,000 teachers. Is unprecedented in the annals of the history of this country. Most governors will wait, because if you employ 5,000 teachers, it means you have increased your wage bill by probably over $1 billion, looking at the current rate of minimum wage. And not just employ 5,000 teachers. The governor equally went ahead to grant free and accessible education, free quality education from primary school, just for basic education, from primary school up onto JSS 3. And then from SS1 to SS3, he had put a wage cap out as a tuition cap at 5,000. And even the 5,000 doesn't even go to government. It is just given to principals of those schools to just continue, probably one thing or the other, towards maintenance of the city and all whatnot. So as of today, basic education in Anambra State is completely free.
Okay, I got to bring in, I'm sorry, I've got to interrupt again, because another viewer, Tochukwu is watching from Alagbado in Lagos and wants to join the program. Good morning, Tochukwu. Apostle Tochukwu.
Hello.
Yes, good morning, Tochukwu.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for this program you are doing. I'm very grateful. It's a wonderful program. In fact, let us be sincere. Governor Soludo is the best governor so far from Anambra State. In Anambra, he is the best. Because I am from Anambra State, and I have seen all what he has been doing. In fact, I'm very, very happy with him. You see, but one thing I want to remind him is, all the jobs he's doing, he should be cross-checking it himself. Because he always goes there at first and see things for himself before giving signing the contract. Like the one in Benato, there's an erosion that happened in Benato and Nnewi South local government. He went there himself, saw it. He is the first governor that has been there and signed it and put it to work. In fact, he is so wonderful. In the whole road he has been doing, it's an excellent road. I'm not living in Anambra, but I always travel to Anambra. So that particular erection, he started it and he did it. He even promised to do it to the river. Then he signed it to the river so that the erosion, the water will enter the river.
Okay.
So the people that are doing it now stopped at the central school.
All right.
And told
Apostle, thank you very much for calling in, Apostle. Really appreciate it, especially as you're an Anambrarian yourself and a very proud one. Now, Barrister Sly, I know you want to add to that, but I really, forgive me, Barrister Sly, I don't want to miss out on some important things that you can add to us.
No, just very important, just maybe in less than 30 seconds, because we have to equally talk about the 1 youth 2 scale agenda of the governor. Because it's one of the most noble initiatives that the governor introduced in Anambra State. And now that model has now been copied by the federal government. As I speak to you, we had a delegation from the Ministry of Youth to have seen, we understand that this scheme was actually a huge success, because apart from training about 5,000 youths in 2 skills, because that's the essence of 1 youth 2 skill, 5,000 youth, the governor of Anambra State supported them with a takeoff grant of about 2.5 billion. That 2.5 billion takeoff grant is equally free. People were probably given, different varying amounts of money depending on the level of skill they learn. And then additionally, the governor has now secured an interest-free loan of about 2.5 billion again with the Anambra State Business Agency, in such a way that people who still want to upscale in their business can actually go and access this loan. And these are the interventions the governor has made in the area of human capital development.
All right.
And then you talk about the government's intervention in the area of technology. In such a way that these teachers that were recruited were trained and equally equipped with 2,000 laptops.
Maybe it's annoying, but we are excited at what's going on in Anambra, and there's so many places to touch. And I know that you could take any one of them and speak for 30 minutes on it, but we must touch base on some of the key points. Now, look at what
you cannot talk about Soludo achievement in just an hour program.
I know, that is the challenge. So let me just let me just manage it. And frugality is another word that is used in Anambra. Now, by the current exchange rate...
Sorry, I didn't hear you. You said frugality.
I said frugality is another very important point
that's great.
In Anambra State.
That's great.
And with the current exchange rate, people have worked it out and said that what is available to Anambra now to do all of the wonderful things we're talking about is in the region of $273 million. They've sort of put it into that format. And this is easily, according to those who are watching these things, that Soludo has had the least in the past 18 years with which to work.
Yes.
Now, this $273 million, you begin to imagine. You see, when you put the figure in Naira, it seems like a lot, and it is substantial. But the point is made that Soludo is working with the least amount considering the past 18 years of governance in Anambra State.
Absolutely.
So combine this, if you will, with the frugality that I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
How has that magic been? Because frugality must mean about nothing slipping between the cracks, you know, not being wasteful, not being ostentatious. I think I heard the other day that Governor Soludo said he hasn't taken a kobo in salary in the past 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
and that's the first.
Please,
and
go
that's
ahead.
the first point I was going to make.
Okay.
First of all, even when you come in terms of the conversion that you just made, about $270-something million, I think probably you are making allusion to the 2024 budget.
Yes.
That is actually projected. That's actually projected revenue. That's not actual revenue.
Okay.
Because these are two different things.
Okay.
So if you look at the 2024 budget, in terms of the projections that the state has, you know, what the state is expecting to get from FAC, what the state is expecting to get from probably internally generated revenue and other sources. That's the projection. But you found out that most times, what you project, you don't even get up to 60% of that. But in spite of that, the government of Anambra State under Professor Soludo is not giving excuses. Like you said, it is built entirely and solely on prudent management of resources. And I'll just give you one instance. When the governor came in, the cost of facility management in Anambra State was $137 million. That is what it cost government to clean up offices at the federal secretariat, at the government house, at the airport, and other probably facilities owned by the state, $137 million. When Governor Soludo came in, the first thing the governor did was to scale down this massive, let me not call it waste, but you can still not end up without calling it waste, because it's still something that has been projected into a profitable venture. But the governor felt that there could be a more prudent way of cleaning up most of these facilities. And at the end of the day, if I tell you what it cost the state to clean up the same number of facilities that was previously cleaned for $137 million, is now 11 million naira. So the state is saving a whopping 126 million naira every month just from facility management.
Well, we've run out of time. I'm afraid.
Another area is
Barrister Sly. That's why I've been this inconvenient interrupting you, because I wanted to create time for you to say all that you needed to say. I'm so very sorry. It's been very, very exciting.
Yeah.
And here we are at just the half time. But I think what we're going to do is that we're going to speak to your office, see if we can do this again. You said it. 1 hour is
probably.
Not
Please, I think what it may even be better is for us to have the solution series in TVC, that we'll have enough time to speak on the humongous achievement and the massive and tremendous achievement that the governor has recorded in just 2 years in office.
We'd like that. It's been so exciting. It's been so exciting this far. And if this is the halftime,
before I leave, I don't know if I can say in less than 30 seconds.
I wanted to thank you very much, National Chair of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Barrister Sly Ezekenwa. I mean, he's so proud of his governor, and if we are also happy to hear it, we could easily have taken another hour and then not have covered everything. Thank you very much for coming on and speaking to us about it. But we must do this again.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm quite
Our
grateful.
pleasure. Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. That's our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Iyori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be a patient? If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
The new Happic sachets. It has a thick formula, so all you need is just one sachet for your toilet bowl. It gives 10 times better cleaning and big savings too.
Wow, Helen!
Sparkling clean toilet with Happic sachet.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Today, there are many complex, boring, expensive, and useless exercise machines in the market. Or you pay over 400,000 naira a year for gym membership and never go. ShopX TV is proud to introduce Total Crunch Evolution, the compact, versatile fitness solution that is perfect for you. With Total Crunch, you get a complete fitness workout in one machine. Say goodbye to ineffective and complicated exercise machines. Now, you have the power to transform your fitness journey and get the body you have always wanted right in the comfort of your own home. Total Crunch is the efficient and effective way to build muscle, tone and tighten your legs, shape your back and pectorals, while strengthening your core and defining your abs. Now that's totally effective to get the body you want. With Total Crunch, your whole body works out at the same time. Only Total Crunch can put your whole body in motion as you burn calories and lose weight. Just one fitness routine a week will achieve serious results in 4 weeks.
Total Crunch Evolution has enhanced the way I work out and the results I achieve. It's not just a fitness equipment, it's a life changer. This versatile, time-saving machine is perfect for anyone looking to lose weight or stay in shape. Trust me, this is the game changer you've been waiting for.
With my busy schedule, finding time to work out and stay in shape has always been a challenge until I discovered the Total Crunch Evolution. It's a lifesaver.
Traditional exercise equipment is large, complex, takes up so much space in your home, and you could be paying up to 400,000 naira for annual gym fees. Get the Total Crunch Evolution, the 2-in-1 fitness solution to save the cost and transform your body from the convenience of your home. Similar equipment costs 300,000 naira, but you can get the Total Crunch Evolution for not 300,000 naira, not even 200,000 naira. Order right now and get your Total Crunch Evolution for just 179,950 naira only. And that's not all. You can get our Total Crunch Evolution in 2 easy payments of 89,975 naira. That's right. Pay twice to get your Total Crunch. And remember, if you order now, you get the Total Crunch Evolution delivered to you for free anywhere you are in Nigeria. And it comes with a ShopX 30-day money-back guarantee. Call the number on your screen now or scan the code to place your order now. But hurry, limited stock available. The proceeding is a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
Hello and thanks for joining us on TVC News at noon. We're stayed with security concerns as the Nigerian Army has rescued 16 persons kidnapped by bandits from Tantantu community in Kajuru, Kaduna State. A statement by the Director of Army Public Relations Officer, Major General Oyema Nwachukwu, explained that troops in response to intelligence tracked the insurgents, engaged them in a fierce firefight, and successfully rescued the abducted villagers. He recalled that 87 persons, including minors and infants, were abducted when armed terrorists invaded the community on Sunday night. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, visited Kaduna State on Monday, warning that the military will go hard on those denying the nation peace. Our correspondent Lupe Assam reports.
The alarming increase in kidnapping incidents within Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State is disturbing. In the latest attack, at least 87 individuals, including minors and babies, were whisked away from Kajuru station. This incident follows closely on the heels of previous abductions, bringing the total number of kidnapped individuals in less than 2 weeks to 162. The Defense Chief, General Christopher Musa, has come to Kaduna to assess the situation and coordinate efforts to ensure the safe return of those kidnapped. Expressing grave concerns, General Musa emphasized the perpetrators' agenda to undermine the federal and state governments, portraying them as weak.
Abduction, as we know, is a social activity. People are doing it for their own sake. Some are doing it to bring down the government, to make the government look weak. But we guarantee that this will end. We are doing everything possible to ensure that we achieve success, and we will achieve success. We are also trying to stop it, to make sure that it does. But what we require is for Nigerians to give us support. Most times when we get information, it comes in a bit late. Before we react to get there, it is late. But we're happy with the way people are responding. You can see from what happened in Delta State, how Nigerians are responding. Everybody supporting the armed forces and the security forces. That is what will ginger the troops to continue to do more.
He issues a stern warning to the perpetrators, reaffirming the military's unwavering commitment to safeguarding citizens.
But you, the parents, we know you have been spending sleepless nights. We equally are doing the same. We are with you in this. I will continue to be with this. And Your Excellency want to